Okay, now we're ready to start animations. So, first, let's get rid of this clip art thing. Go to the Animations tab, and click on the Animation pane. And it'll bring up a little box on the side. Okay, so first thing we want to animate is the callout. And what we want to do is let's do more entrance effects. And you can preview what they look like. I'm going to do peek in. Okay. Like so. And I'm going to add an animation to it. And I'm going to go to more exit effects. I want it to peek out. Oops. So you gotta highlight it first. Okay. Now we're going to modify these a little bit. So do start on click and go to effect options. Want it to come up from the bottom. That looks fine. Timing. We'll do very fast. Okay, and then we'll do a trigger. So your window, whichever window you're animating at the time, will be your trigger. So start on the effect of this, and it will be a rectangle. And this is the hardest part, is you have to kind of pay attention to which ones you put in first to be able to find the one you want. So this one is rectangle 12. And they usually list the order of things that you put them in. Okay. So now we want to just click this one, and you can just drag it down to the bottom, and it'll be under the same trigger. And we're going to go to effect options. To bottom, looks good. Fast. Okay, but we're going to change on click of, and we're going to do with previous. And we're going to delay it. Let's not do a full second. Let's do 0.8 seconds. Okay. Now, we want to animate the explosion. So you gotta click on it, and we want it to fade in. So click this one first, and just like the one before, we'll just drag it down, and we want to go to effect options. Okay, so this one, we actually want to give this one a sound. We'll do an arrow sound. Kind of sound, you can preview the sound if you click the button, and it kind of sounds like a match being lit, so it works pretty good. Go to timing, and this one we're going to do after previous. Do very fast. And everything else looks good. Okay. Perfect. Now we want to click on it again and click add animation. Don't click one of these, otherwise it'll erase the one you just did. Okay, and so we're going to give it a custom path. Now, you kind of want this path to follow the fuse. So you just kind of draw it right along, so. And if it does this, just hit enter. Okay. Now, like before, we're going to just drag it down to the bottom. And we're going to start with previous. And we're going to go to effect options. You could do a smooth start, smooth end. If you want, it's that'll look fine. What it does is it makes it start slow and end slower than it goes in the middle. So we'll leave that the same. Okay, now we want it to go probably at a medium pace. And just like so. Oh. But also you want it to dim. So you want it to hide it after animation. That way once it gets to the end it'll disappear. And it looks like it goes in the cannon. Okay. Perfect. Now we want to animate the cloud. So click the cloud. And first we want it to fade in. And we're going to drag it down to the bottom again. We want this one to start after previous. So once the fuse gets inside. And we'll go to effect options. We're going to give this one a sound. And we'll do explosion. Timing, we want very fast. And no delay. So that looks good. Okay. Now we want to click the cloud, add animation, and we want it to fly out. So we're going to drag it back down to the bottom. We want this one to start with previous. And go to effect options. We don't want smooth starts. And we want it to go to the top. So that it looks like it's floating up. Timing, we'll do slow. And everything else looks good. So it'll slowly rise up. Now we want to click it one more time, add an animation, and we're going to have it fade out. So again, drag it to the bottom. We want this one to start with previous. Go to effect options. Timing. Okay, we want this one to kind of go at a medium pace. And we want it to delay just a little bit. Well, let's try it first and see what happens. Okay. So So now we have the cloud done. I'm going to move on to the cannon. So if you click the cannon, we're going to give it a custom path. And this will be for the recoil. So just simple back and forth motion. If you don't like it, you can delete it and try it again. Okay, that'll work. Now, we want to drag it down to the bottom. And let's go to Effect Options. Okay, now we don't want smooth start, but if you want a little smoother end, that's fine. Timing, we want it very fast, just like the recoil of a cannon. And we want it with previous. Okay. Now, we want to animate the cannonball. So click the cannonball. And first we want it to appear. And just drag it down to the bottom. We'll have it start with previous. Click the cannonball again. Go to Add Animation. Now we want to give this an arc motion path. And if you go to Effect Options, we'll give it an upward arc, which makes more sense. Okay, now you can adjust the path. You can rotate it and stretch it out. If you want a little bit more of an arc, just move it and you can bend it. That looks pretty good. Okay, now drag that one down to the bottom again. And we're going to go to Effect Options. Okay, we don't want any smoothing. We want it to not slow down when it starts or when it ends, just like a cannonball would. Okay, and we want to start with previous. We want it to go fast. And that looks pretty good. Okay. Oh. Almost forgot. Go back to Effect Options. And go to Hide After Animation. That way it'll disappear. So it looks like it goes through the window. Now, we want to animate the window. So click it. And we want more exit effects. And you can test out the ones that you think would look best. I think dissolve out works pretty good.